We're talking about 5 allegedly true paranormal horror stories like I do on my channel Scare D-Pants in honor of Halloween. Thank you for watching, let's get into it. This is probably the creepiest, most unexplainable thing that has ever happened to me. I used to work overnight as a security guard at the local port. Usually none of the port workers would stay overnight except for the safety official. I wouldn't be on the shift alone since the site has a radius of nearly 2 miles. Overnight, usually there would be 3 guards including me. Since the area was fairly big, there were different posts, but front gate was the main entrance area where all of the guards would be stationed overnight since there was no need to put them in other posts due to the fact that there was no activity in the site at the time. The veteran guards that had been there for years would often say that the site was haunted, given the fact that there have been accidents and deaths that occurred in the area a long time ago. I was aware that people died there due to freak accidents. I do believe in angels and demons since I'm actually a religious person, but I always thought that the superiors were just messing with the new guys. I would work 5 to 6 nights out of the week, and for the first few weeks, I never really saw or heard anything out of the ordinary. Except for maybe a few questionable creaks and would see a few misplaced objects while doing my patrol rounds, but nothing too crazy. Just to describe the setting to you, this is a fairly big site, and on occasion, when there were big projects being constructed at the port, the workers would sometimes stay overnight. Due to the fact that there were times where port workers were required to stay at the port for a few days, there's a gym in the site for their convenience. This gym is fairly old. In the gym, there's a sauna, weights, and even a racquetball court. If you don't know what a racquetball court is, it's similar to an indoor tennis court with thin plastered walls and thick glass doors. Usually on our patrol rounds, me and one of the other guards, Mike, would stop by the gym, play a few rounds of racquetball before returning to the front gate. On one of those nights, me and Mike decided to hit a full workout instead of playing racquetball in the cage. This is around 2:30 a.m., and the entire building is so quiet that you can't hear the electricity running through the lights. The air conditioner is off, and so is everything else. The only thing that's running are the lights. 15 to 20 minutes into the workout, we hear a loud thump. We crossed it off as nothing and continued working out. Then after a few more minutes, we heard the loud thump once more. At first, we thought it was our lieutenant, which could have been walking around, but we then radioed him and he gave us his location, which was front gate. We tried thinking logically on what could be making those thumps on the wall. They were coming from the court on the other side. We thought it was the air conditioner, but then we remembered that it was off, and even when it's switched on during the day, there's no reports of thumps coming from the air conditioner. After a few more minutes, the thumps started occurring right one after another. We were very creeped out at this point, but what we were about to witness still scares the absolute shit out of me until this day. We started to approach the other side of the gym, and where the glass door was, we turned on the flashlight and aimed it towards the clear glass door, and I got chills all over my body, and I started tearing so much out of fear, I was about to cry. We saw one of the balls rolling slowly by itself inside the court, but there was no one in there, so that means the loud thumps were the ball mysteriously being tossed against the wall as if someone or something was playing inside the cage. We were both so confused and frightened to how this was really happening, we couldn't make sense of any of it. We were scared shitless, and we started yelling and running away because we knew that there was probably something evil toying with us right there. As we sprinted full speed back to the front gate, the lieutenant saw us and asked why we were tearing and running in a ridiculous manner. We told him what we witnessed, and his facial expression scared us even more. He then said, "That's why there's always guards that quit out. There's something evil in this area, and it's not the first time that something that bad has happened here." He then showed us security footage of dark figures and shadows literally passing through the office areas and lights mysteriously switching on and off. Until this day, I still get chills recounting my experience with my friends and family, and I'm even getting chills right now as I type this. I never had a real encounter with the supernatural until that night. Many say that it was a demonic presence messing around. Others say it was a ghost of a dead person who died in the area. I don't know what it was, but I didn't last long in the job after that. There were other experiences, but I'll send it at a later time. My son's imaginary friend was real. When my son was 2 years old, he started acting as if he was interacting with someone or something that his father and I could never see, like throwing toys down the hallway and then running away murmuring words. When I asked what he was doing, he always told me that he was giving toys to the boy for him to play with. There was never anybody there, but it was always icy cold down the hallway leading to the garage. I'd ask him what the boy's name was, and he would tell me Don was his name. I asked what the boy was doing, waiting for his mom to pick him up. He would always reply, "We put it down to an imaginary friend and nothing more." Harmless, we thought, until he started waking up in the middle of the night screaming, saying, "Don won't let me sleep. He keeps tickling my toes." This sent chills down my spine, and so my son would sleep in my bed with me every night. This continued for another 6 months, till the real estate notified us that the owner of the house had died and his children would be selling the property and splitting the profit between them, meaning we had to move. After we left, I came across a local news article about the owner of the old rental stating how much he will be missed by the community. He had been raised by his mother in the house we were renting since he was a child. Then I noticed his name, and everything came flooding back to me. His name was Don. My son's imaginary friend was our homeowner. He must have been waiting for his mother to come and take him to the other side. I'll never look at imaginary friends the same again. I found a stone with strange symbols as a kid. My dad's terrifying reaction still haunts me. When I was 8 years old, I went on a mountain hiking trip in my city with my family. While walking, I came across strange stone that looked like a book. It had carvings and writings in languages that I couldn't understand, and for some reason, it felt like it was calling to me. My sister didn't come with us on this trip, so I thought this would make a cool gift for her. I picked up the stone and told my dad that I was going to give it to my sister as a present. The moment he saw it, his face changed. He got really angry and yelled at me to throw it away immediately. Before I could react, he snatched it from my hand and threw it far away. Then he grabbed me, told us we were leaving right now. We went down the mountain quickly, and to this day, I have no explanation for my dad's reaction or what that strange stone was. It still gives me chills whenever I think about it. What makes this even weirder is that when I grew older and asked my dad about it, sometimes he acted like he didn't hear me, and other times he just said he didn't remember anything about it. But I know he remembers. Even now, if I ever talk about going on adventures near the same mountain, he reminds me very seriously never to go there again. What do you guys think that stone could have been? As we jump into the next story, don't forget I tell stories like this over on my channel, Scare D Pants. Let's get into the next one. I work in a haunted mansion. Literally. I'm a behavioral health technician. I got a job back in September at what's considered a luxury drug and alcohol rehab facility. The facility is a huge mansion that's on the outside looks like a mix of the Banks Bel Air mansion on Fresh Prince or a mini White House. It's 3 levels, has 13 rooms, and all have private bathrooms with jacuzzi tubs. There's a gym, 3 living room, a huge commercial kitchen, ballroom, yoga studio, doctor's office, huge garden, and an elevator. My first week, I had 2 clients tell me that it's haunted, and I just laughed it off. My schedule's 11 p.m. to 7:30 a.m., so majority of the time, all the clients are asleep, and it's just me and a nurse in this huge house, so it's quiet. My office is on the second floor. Nurse's office, along with the kitchen and huge pantry, are on the first floor. The pantry is locked at all times, and the nurse has the key. A couple of weeks ago, the nurse comes stomping up the stairs, yelling at me, saying I scared her hiding in the pantry. I'm lost because I hadn't left my office, and when I tell her that, she goes pale, and she says, "You weren't just in the pantry and yelled, 'Knock, knock'?" I say, "How could I be when you have the key?" She walks out. 10 minutes later, I hear her talking, so I go down to her office and she's down on her knees praying in Punjabi. At 6 a.m., the chief and handyman clock in, ask how our night was, and I jokingly say, "Casper jump-scared Nurse J in the pantry." Chef says, "Ooh, that's K, if it was to the pantry." And I'm like, what? He then goes on to say he's worked there for 15 years, and it used to be a retirement home, so lots of residents passed away here. He named off certain residents and where their ghosts have been seen, saying they've been kind, not malicious type hauntings, etc. Nurse J put in her 2-week notice and is no longer here. I hear footsteps, lights flicker, and the fireplaces randomly come on, but I haven't had anything actually speak to me like Nurse J, though. My pay is significantly higher than average, and my supervisors say it's because he can't keep knock shift staffed. I think it's because it's haunted, and my pay is too good to scare me away. My childhood friend. When I was a child, I had a friend named Lucy. She was a neighborhood girl who would come over to my grandmother's house, which is where I lived at the time. There was a park by my house that had a deep creek next to it. I couldn't swim, so we always had to have an adult with us near the creek. Lucy was always a toxic friend, but I didn't know. She would always threaten to stop being friends with me or stop talking to me if I didn't do what she wanted. She would also always say that she deserved my toys, my family, my friends more than I did. I didn't mind this, as I had a hard time making friends, and Lucy was one of my only friends. One night, Lucy came over, and she said she was bored and wanted to go to the park. I told her my family was in the backyard, and we had to have an adult with us to go, but she said she would leave and never come back if I didn't go to the park with her. I followed her, and we went to the park. She walked right past the playground equipment to the creek, and I asked her what she was doing. She said she wanted to swim, and I told her I couldn't swim, and she called me a string of hurtful names, including weak, stupid, and an awful friend. This really hurt my 5-year-old self, so I started crying. This made her even angrier, and she told me something that I will never forget. "You're an awful child. Your family deserved me, and not you." I was so confused and sad that I just ran home. I never saw her again, and I just thought she was so angry she never spoke to me again. Now, about a year ago, my family was talking about my imaginary friends, and my mom said my friend Lucy really creeped her out because she was supposed to have a daughter before me who they wanted to name Lucy. My mother had a miscarriage, and Lucy was never born. You'll find more narrations like this on my other channel, Scare D Pants. Thank you for watching.